So thank you, Cosmic Light Collective, for being with us today. Thanks for all who are helping us move through this coronavirus experience and all the challenges that it has placed here and the lessons that we are to learn from it. Thank you for the topic for today, which I found to be quite beautiful. And so here are the questions we have around the topic of devotion. And first of all is just to really define it and explain and enlighten us as to what you understand devotion to be, so that we are able to receive and absorb the information that you will bring and the experience that you will offer us about devotion. We're asking, is there a sacred component to being devoted? And in that line, is devotion really all about your relationship with God? Is it more connected to prayer? How can we be of service through devotion? What would that look like for us here in our community? And what is the difference between devotion and passion? And how do we experience that difference? And how can we move into more wholesome goals to be devoted to in our lives, as many people choose to devote to an egoic understanding, and that doesn't necessarily turn out to be for the highest good of all. So how can we move into more wholesome goals that support the well-being of all? And those are our questions for today. Okay, here we go. It is good to be with all of you again. We hope that you enjoyed your little respite as you celebrated a beautiful feast, a feast of gratitude and appreciation that you call Thanksgiving. It is a beautiful time to come together because you focus on relationships more than anything else. And relationships really are the core of what allows you to experience life in so many very different ways. You have already noted that you have passed through a major test and you have arrived on the other side of that test to begin the hard work, the hard relationship work that healing requires. You are at the place of massive national healing. And even though there are so many factions and so many issues still to be worked through, the direction, the plan, the trajectory for the future of the United States of America is that of a healed nation. A nation that becomes a template for the future governance of the world, because it is a respectful and appreciative nation. It is a respectful and appreciative nation. And that's key to really understanding the power of devotion. And so, let us begin by defining devotion for you. Devotion is the presence and purpose of love in action. The presence and purpose of love in action. Devotion is the presence and purpose of love in action. In every experience of devotion, love is active. Love is in motion. Love is fluid, effective, and creative. Love is fluid, effective, and creative. There is no devotion without love. And the difference between devotion and passion is that devotion is always working. It's always working to a resolution, to a creative unfolding. Devotion never stops working. The key element of devotion is perseverance, going the distance. Passion fizzles, devotion doesn't. Big difference. One of the primary differences between devotion and passion is the fact that devotion is not detoured in any way, shape, or form. It is focused, it is clear, it is all-consuming. Any of you who have had the experience of having someone devoted to you, did it happen just for a couple of days? Or did devotion last over a period of time? Did you feel a deep and profound commitment to your well-being during that period of devotion, in which nothing you did or anything you said could stand in the way of the love that was moving in and through you? The concept of devotion is extremely powerful because it is that which you need to embrace to see you through the next 12 years. You need to embrace this for the next 12 years. Because in this period of time, it's your devotion that will keep you strong, keep you motivated, and keep you forward moving. This is practical love in action. It's about learning how to make love as effective as it is necessary. Lots of people say they love each other, but they can't live together. Lots of people say they have a love for something, but they can't activate it or make it have meaning. Devotion is the part of you that is soul empowered, that is limitless in its motivation to love. Limitless in its motivation to love. There are many extraterrestrial civilizations and celestial beings. You know of your ascended masters and of their many stories, of their commitment, their devotion to supporting all of you to evolve into a realized, peaceful civilization that can take its place on a solar and galactic stage. This is lifetime after lifetime, millennia after millennia of courageous love in action, because the devotion is to the best of who you are, and to seeing it through until you reach that for yourselves. So on the other side of an election, this nation and all of the citizens in it have to choose to whom, to what, and why, and if you will devote yourself to the well-being of this nation, to the well-being of your neighbors, of your communities, of your states. Essentially, devotion is relationships that thrive. When you are devoted to each other, there is a relationship that allows for energy to thrive. You're never given up on. And so the courage to continue, to keep going, to stay the course, to understand the course, to change the course, to even recognize the course. All of those are parts of devotion. And all 4 of those opportunities are available to you now. As families, as friends, as spiritual communities, as neighbors, as citizens, as residents of the world. Devotion isn't a magical gift. Devotion is simply the way the soul loves. It is the way the soul loves. Because the soul loves in its devotion to seeing each of you through your evolutionary incarnational history, to arrive at your own soul embodiment, and to move from where that leads you into even greater aspects of the brilliance from which you were created. We offer the concept of devotion for you to relax into, to understand how your souls have been devoted to you lifetime after lifetime, no matter what nation you incarnated upon. It has been here, devoted to your evolution, even when you weren't. To the reality of all of the extraterrestrial civilizations that seeded the human race, that are devoted to its well-being, even in the face of those who would try to interfere, disrupt, and dislodge the evolutionary mandates placed in your DNA at the time of the seeding. Devotion has no other agenda other than to love. And in that, it is pure. It is pure. And the purity of devotion because it is so pure, can never really be contaminated. Not really. Just like you can never really lose your soul, devotion can never really be contaminated because it's love in its purest form that is continuous and active. Now, that doesn't mean that loving isn't still challenging or difficult, sometimes confusing, definitely interesting, absolutely intriguing. It is all those things. It is a creative whirlwind as well as a grounded beat. But devotion appreciates the many aspects of love and respects all of the ways that it twists and turns, always safeguarding the integrity and the purity of the love that is moving through the experience. That's what devotion does. It keeps your head above water even when you think you're sinking. It's the miraculous donation that appears when you don't know how you're going to pay for food or rent. It is the person who shows up on the highway before AAA does, just to keep you company, so you're not alone. Devotion works through you when you choose to be a soul-empowered vehicle for love. You open that door to devotion when you choose the purity of love as your path. And you not only serve through that path, but you are also served in return by that path. Devotion is not so much about God as it is about the God that lives within you. When you really get to know the God that lives within you, and the easiest way to do that is through your soul, then you recognize that from your inception as a thought in the mind of God, God's been devoted to you through all other life that God and Goddess comprise. See, truly, creation isn't interested in you praying to creation. Creation is much more concerned that you love each other and continue to create with each other. You were created to create. And so that's what God asks you to be devoted. Be devoted to creating from that which you were created. God does not need your devotion. God needs your creativity. God does not need your devotion. God needs your creativity. That's why He's given you devotion, so that you could create through it with the same pure love that creation has for each particle of you. for each particle of the rocks and the crystals that you're holding, of the liquids that you're drinking and the food that you're eating, of the animals at your feet, of the plants by your side, of the air that you breathe, of the light that you see. Over the next 12 years, devotion will become a profound experience of service. Devotion itself will become a profound experience of service. Not so much in prayer as in action, right? Not so much in prayer as in action. You see, you've moved into the soul-empowered, soul-aware state. You need prayer when you don't have a clue. When you're soul-aware and soul-empowered, you have all the clues you need. Now you need to move into action. There's no more prayer because you are the living prayer. In devotion, you are the living prayer in action. You are the living prayer in action. And that's why God doesn't need you praying. God needs you living as the prayer that is being answered, as the answer to the prayer. It's a beautiful thing to be able to say to all of you that we don't need you to pray that way. We need you to be the answer to the prayer, the living answer to the prayer, because your devotion, your presence, and the purpose of love in action in your lives is what's changing your world, changing your country, changing your neighborhood, and changing your home. It's practical, it's effective, it's useful. And there's something profoundly beautiful about devotion because you are cared for beyond measure. That love in action lets you know you are worth everything. You never in a moment doubt your value. Ever. Because that's just how precious you are. There is a sense of peace and calm when you are devoted and when you are the one doing the devotion. Because it's so clear that you belong, that you are connected, and that even though you may struggle, there is nothing that is going to separate you. Even though you may struggle, there is nothing that will separate you. You have years to go to allow that feeling to become a recognized experience in this country. But it's on the way. You've already planted all the seeds. Now they just need to be nurtured and grow. So devotion for each of you, in answering the question of how do I be of service through devotion, devotion for each of you will be a little different. Because it's the presence and purpose of your love in action where you are, with who is around you. It will touch your experiences at work. It will touch your experiences in the neighborhood. It will touch your experiences with your families, with extended relatives. All of this is the presence and purpose of your love in action, of you being the answered prayer. For those who don't have the fifth dimensional soul awareness that you do, who are lost and looking for guidance. The key to this devotion is that you never give up, that you stay true to the power of love working through you, that you stay true to the power of love working through you. 12 years is a long time. And yet not so long. But from this perspective, it's a long time. And you're going to need to be devoted for 12 full years as darkness unwinds, negativity dissolves, collaboration is attempted, failures occur before many governments get it right. For the ego to be calm enough to accept the common good over the personal good, it is going to happen. But devotion means that love stays the course, and that it becomes creative, fluid, and vigilant at the same time. It is an exciting time to watch the soul of humanity actually start to lift its head out of the water so you could see it and recognize it and eventually ask it to swim to shore and live with you. There is a lot more celestial assistance on the way to support the presence and power and purpose of the love that you will share, of the love that you will grow into, of the courage you will need to love so completely. You know, devotion is fearless. It knows that it has a power that exists to the depth at which it relates, and so it's fearless. It's not stupid. It's just fearless. Now, let's be honest. Passionate people do stupid things, and then it fizzles, and then there's repercussions. Devotion, because it's long-term, does not fizzle and does not do stupid things. It is fearless, but it's intelligent. It's purposeful, it's practical, and it's effective. It's the difference between somebody giving a hungry person a meal and someone giving a hungry person a garden and teaching them how to grow their own food so they don't have to be hungry again. Devotion goes the distance. Passion, not so much. So there's a distance of 12 years ahead. But with devotion, it doesn't have to feel like forever. And with the creativity of love that devotion requires, it can become an exciting and enlivening time, even in the midst of challenges and obstacles. So each of you close your eyes and feel the presence of your soul rising into your heart and into your mind. And placing one head at the forehead and the other at the chest. Allow yourself to experience your soul's devotion to you. How it has stood by you, incarnation after incarnation, no matter how you behaved, devoted to effectively learning how to love you so that you love yourself better. Feel its tenacity in caring for you, its respect and appreciation for all that you are and all that you've been through. Feel the peace that your soul chooses to give you and the comfort that it offers you when you let it. We would ask you on your own to simply answer this question. I am devoted to. I am devoted to. Devotion has been shown to me by. With devotion as my friend, these are possible. With devotion as my friend, these are possible. And you don't have to answer them right away. It's more about an experience. And that last question allows your ego to have some room to consider devotion. Your soul knows it, your ego doesn't. But if your ego is willing to make devotion a friend, you'll get to your soul a lot faster, because it won't be so scared of what devotion brings. Feel the love of your soul pouring into your heart, to your chest cavity. Feel that love moving through every cell in your body, into your memories, feelings, thoughts, into your hopes and dreams. Feel it comforting you while empowering you. And that is something everyone will need, to be comforted while being empowered. To be comforted while being empowered. Gives you the best chance at succeeding, because you're relaxed and calm enough to make your highest choice. We are happy to be able to deliver this transmission to you, knowing that you are on the path of devotion, and that through it you will navigate with grace and with beauty and with well-being for all. The journey ahead has really beautiful moments. Hang in there. Those beautiful moments are going to be lovely rewards in a very long-term mission. In each moment of beauty was created by acts of devotion. And so it is. That we remain devoted to you, and that we offer you our effective, respectful, and appreciative love as we collaborate in healing this nation and in realizing a new soul-embodied civilization of peace. We look forward to the weeks ahead, and we know that together, love will thrive. And the blessings are flowing. We look forward to our time together next week.